Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's time once again for another OC Spotlight. The one show, maybe the only show that shows you the most incredible people doing the most amazing things right here in your backyard. And this one, hey, we're going to talk about something that we probably take for granted and may not explore enough about, but what's it like the world of plumbing? What's it like having a plumbing business? How do you find a plumber? Why do you hire a plumber? How do you pick a plumber? We're going to answer all those questions with the guy who knows the answers to all these things here, Mike Paisley from Mike Paisley Plumbing. Welcome, sir.
Nice to be here.
Oh, we got your mic up there. Let's turn your mic up. There we go. That'll probably work better.
Nice to be here.
Nice to be here. All right. Mike Paisley from Mike Paisley Plumbing. That says it all. What I don't know is how long you've been doing this. I hear you've been doing this since you could walk.
Well, yeah, my dad took me to the first plumbing job I went to probably before I could walk, handed me to the customer and fixed their plumbing.
So why stay in the family business? Why do what Dad does?
I can tell you it's tough. I tried to get away from it. I went to school, tried a couple different businesses, but
It's just like I'm a big movie buff. Michael Corleone and The Godfather. I try to get out and they pull me back in.
yeah, it's a practical thing. It's people need it, and if you're on the side doing it, it can definitely make a life for you and provide a way through life.
I hear a good life. There was a book a couple of years ago about the millionaire next door, something like that. And don't just look to the, Elon Musk of the world who invents something and creates something. It's the service businesses, plumbers, electricians, pest control, these people that build solid businesses, services that we need day in and day out. I think there's value in that. But nobody says, hey, I want my kid to grow up and be a plumber these days. You got to get a doctorate in something. What did you go to school for when you went to school?
I was on my way to. My grandmother was an attorney, so
See, there you go. So you're going to get studying pre-law and all this stuff here. I thought.
Yeah.
And then that didn't work out, or you just decided the heck with it, or problems along the way, or what?
Well, I learned that going to school doesn't provide the same money that plumbing does. So I ran out of money, and my dad's kind of let him burn to learn kind of guy. Right. So that's
came back and said, all right, maybe plumbing ain't so bad here. Now, you said you went through some tough times. I don't know if we want to delve down that thing, but you got to a point after college and where you're like almost homeless or whatever here. You're struggling there for a while before you decided, I'm going to really give myself to this thing here.
Yeah. I ended up struggling a little bit. Not drugs or alcohol. No, just kind of some things outside of my control.
Financial, it's life, and,
I ended up in Nashville on a fire escape, actually, in 5 degrees below zero, and
wow.
It was pretty cold and rain, and, tornado winds.
And somewhere you said, I'm going to quit fighting it. I'm going to go back. I was born to be a plumber. My dad's making a good living. I can make a good living, and I can do something good here.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I just kind of looked around after, and thought to myself, what am I doing? My friend had all my tools from when I had started my business when I was younger, before I went to school, and a good friend of mine saved them for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my license in California, and I thought, what the heck am I doing? So I came back and slept. I slept on the concrete next to my van. It was kind
anything
of
to get started. Yeah. So is it hard to start a plumbing business? Because you said something that struck me. Every time there's an economic downturn, suddenly there's more house painters and plumbers and, people work with wood and stuff here. And it's a skill. So people just think, anybody can go out and do this. But I don't think anybody can do this, can they? Not well.
I've hired guys over the years, and that's one of the biggest struggles, I think, as a business, is to get competent guys.
Yeah.
They all come in and they can even convince you that they know how to do it. And my dad kind of taught himself, but it took him a long time to learn, and it's really nice to have good training if you have somebody that really knows what they're doing. So, when I hire these guys, sometimes I end up doing a lot of the work myself, because they get in over their
And they
head.
get in and get out of it. They don't see it as a trade. They don't see it as a lifetime. It's a transition. I'm going to do some carpentry. That's what I was thinking. I'm going to do some carpentry for a while. I'm going to do some plumbing for a while. I'll do some work on houses until that real dream comes through. But this is your dream. This is your business. To the point you didn't just go work for others. When did you decide, I'm going to open my own? I'm going to put my name on the business and open my own shop here?
That kind of goes back to my grandfather. He was kind of a entrepreneurial type person, and my dad always had his own business doing plumbing, and so
you grew up seeing that, and you thought, why not?
yeah.
Because otherwise, is that the way? Most of these big, giant plumbing conglomerates now that advertise on the radio or billboards, it seems like I don't know even if the guy exists. We were talking about Mike Diamond. I'm not trying to put Mike Diamond down, but there are guys like that advertise everywhere. I don't even know if there's a Mike Diamond anymore, or if you ever see Mike Diamond. He's just got a million texts and trucks, right?
Yeah. I don't know when the last time Mike Diamond himself actually did plumbing, but he's not doing too bad. And
no, it's a workable model, but you're going through transient help. People come and go in that thing. So the brand has an obligation and the ability, lots of trucks and lots of people to reach a mass audience. But I don't know if you're getting the best plumbing.
Well,
you're getting craftsmen. You're getting tradesmen.
There's a lot of training that goes into it. That's part of the issue. To train a guy from the ground up might cost $250 to $300 grand. And there's there's no commitment on the trainee's part. From being apprentice to when you can actually put them in a truck and
trust them.
Yeah, and trust them. So he could walk away at any time, and you've got all this invested in them. That's one of the barriers, I think, to entry. California actually has, as much bad as people have to say about California, California actually has some pretty high standards as far as our service techs. And,
okay. So everybody can't just say I'm a plumber and start advertising that.
Well,
I guess they can, but there are standards.
Yeah, there's some, there's some standards. You really got to look at the person in front of you and, and see if you think, they're honest and competent, I'd say.
So is that, let's delve deeper into that, because you hit the nail on the head. I got a house, and I've had plumbers, and I never think about it until something bursts or breaks or doesn't work. The toilet or the sink is leaking, or the pipe's leaking, and I need somebody now. So I open up, in the old days, the Yellow Pages, now it's Google, and I just start going down the list, and there's the paid ones at the top, the big names or whatever, the big chains or something. Or there's these things like Angie's List or whatever that collect leads and then contact all the people that have paid to be on their listing service, their local provider here. And then there are individual plumbers like you that still have a company and a truck and will come out, and you get Mike Paisley. He's going to come out to probably do your plumbing here. Walk me through those different scenarios. What should I expect? How do I pick one over another? Why call Mike Paisley versus the Mike Diamonds of the world or the Angies of the world or whatever?
That's a really good question.
Because I don't know. I start at the top and I call two or three of them. Whoever calls me back fastest and first. And maybe I look at a few reviews on Yelp, but I need the burst. There's water running right now. I don't have time.
Yeah, most people don't. They don't think about the skills required, and a lot of people don't know. And I noticed a lot of people think like the cheapest guy is the best plumber
because they're all the same. They're all the same. It's so if this guy can do it for less than that, I'll pick him.
But I mean, I can tell you, I've been under houses my whole life, and I've seen a lot of plumbing, and not all plumbers are the same.
I'll bet.
And it's a really important aspect of our lives that keeps us all kind of clean and healthy in society.
And one we never think about until it goes wrong.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the plumbing looks. I'll give you another example. So plumbing has changed. I have one of these houses. I've lived in for 20 years. Guess what? The pipe started bursting, right? One burst and another one burst. Not only is that a mess, not only is that a big expense, I lost my insurance because of it, because then I had 2 claims in 1 year, So I had people along the way send me flyers about repiping and doing something here. I didn't do any of that until it was too late. And it cost me more time and money, and now I'm going to pay higher insurance rates for a while because I got 2 claims within a certain period of time. It's one of those issues you never think about. preventatively. I don't ever have anybody come, oh, why don't you come over and check my pipes? What's wrong? Nothing. I just want to make sure nothing's going to break here. Should we be doing that? Should we be, I do it with my car, I do preventative maintenance. Should I be doing preventative maintenance on pipes, or just wait till they burst?
There's probably different people that would tell you different things. You know, I'd say one of the qualities of maybe a experienced plumber is to know when to touch something. You know, they're like, I mean, there's buildings.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, there's buildings in Long Beach where, I mean, you don't even want to look at some of that stuff wrong. You know, just because in the 80s and 90s, you know, every handyman from Los Angeles County probably had their, you know, own ideas about what
And
to
had
do
their hands on
there.
it. Yeah, right.
So, I mean, unless you're dealing with somebody who really wants to like upgrade the stuff and
Rip it all
you know,
out.
which we can do and we've done, you know, in different scenarios. We did in Seal Beach, we did a sewer line replacement for
That's a big
a
deal.
restaurant, you
That's
know,
a big deal.
inside. Yeah, we kept it all clean and tight. It took a while, but I mean, we probably moved a swimming pool of dirt by hand.
Wow.
You know, pulled out a ton of broken concrete. You know,
Or people,
stuff.
we have a show on real estate, and they buy these duplexes and triplexes and small little apartment things. And you guys says, oh my God, we just hate we get under there and we don't know what this plumbing is. The air conditioning systems and the plumbing systems, what they worry about the most here.
Yeah, the plumbing's really important. You know, and one thing that is nice about doing things right, not just putting a Band-Aid on it, is you don't have the emergencies. You know,
Yes.
when you fix things right, if you go kind of
Cheap and quick,
and you just hire this person who, you know.
Who
you know,
gave you a flyer in the neighborhood in your mailbox. And,
yeah, and I'm not knocking anybody, you know what I mean? But I mean, you know, my point is when you do things right, you're not going to have those unexpected issues. I mean, not with the thing that you fixed.
No,
You know?
no, exactly. So let's delve deeper into what should I be looking at as a homeowner. They were all copper at one point. Before, I guess, they were their lead pipes. Like I grew up in Midwest in Michigan. Flint, I didn't grow up in Flint, but, you know, Flint, old lead pipes, and they dissolved and it got terrible, and the whole water systems crashed in the whole city here. Later on, it's copper. I thought copper was safe and good. Now I'm hearing there's problems with copper, and now they're recommending when they repipe my house, they use, what's it called, PEX, polyethylene, whatever the X is?
Yeah, polyethylene PEX pipe. There's a couple different styles of that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings. I use it sometimes, but I mean, when I grew up,
Copper was it.
yeah, copper was it. I mean, we were under houses till, you know, 1 a.m.
And copper did have some sort of
soldering
capability. Not only did it last, but it kept the water clean. It didn't dissolve. It didn't rust.
Yeah, I read an article about a hospital, I think in Brazil, that people were getting sick in the hospital, and they did a study to figure out why they were getting sick, and they had changed all the metallic or they built the hospital with plastic, and then they figured out that, you know, the copper actually was, you know, it was
antimicrobial or something.
Yeah, antibacterial.
Right.
You know, and all of a sudden people in the hospital stopped getting sick when they changed it all out to the metal.
Well, I know that I don't know anything about plumbing. It's the one thing I'll try and fix everything else in my house. When it comes to electrical and plumbing, I call an expert, because I don't want fires and things burning, and I certainly don't want things leaking. So for those two reasons, I stay away from all this. Do people try and do this stuff themselves? And then that just causes, you see commercials like that. The guy goes in and it's pretty soon he's made it even 10 times worse.
Yeah, people try to do it. I mean, you can try to fix certain things. I mean, it's not, there's a certain level where you can get in over your head, you know, things start breaking, and, you know, I think a lot of people.
I love you said it a couple times. I think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I really think this.
I think a lot of people, you know, you know, they look at the plastic drains that get put in, you know, and they think like, oh my God, like, you know, that must have been so easy, but they don't really think about removing what was there before. And I think that's really where some of the art comes in, is, you know, removing things and taking things out carefully in a way that doesn't expand the problem. You know, I think that's where a lot of experience.
And you hit on one of my things. Is plumbing a skill that anybody can do? It's a mechanical skill, it's a trade skill, it's a learned skill, or is it part art? Is it just science? How to connect all this stuff, or is there's a craftsman?
I think there's an art to a lot of it where, as far as, even down to like keeping the place that you're working clean.
Well, yeah.
That's where a lot of the art comes in, being careful because, one way that really a lot of guys can get in over their head is just, they're doing things and, they throw this thing down and then they throw that thing down. The water runs onto the floor, and they're still trying to fix it. And, next thing they know, they can't think straight because like it's just a chaotic situation.
Yeah.
And so I think for somebody to be able to come in and systematically approach an issue and, I got to do this and then I got to do that. Okay, now we move that out of the way, then we do this. I think that takes some training and some experience.
So train us, the average homemaker, homeowner. How do I hire a plumber? Just the cheapest? Just the top 3 on Google? Just whoever works the neighborhood the most? Hopefully you build a relationship. If you own a house long enough and you have enough problems, then you go through a couple of plumbers till you find one you trust and you like, and then hooray, I got a plumber. I have a house out in the desert I inherited from my dad. He was there for 30 years. He's got a plumber. And so things happen. I call this guy, and I trust that it'll happen. But in my house, I haven't lived there that long, and I haven't had that many problems, so I don't have a plumber.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think things have changed a lot since the 90s and early 2000s, and before that, I think during the housing boom, somehow things became more disposable.
Much more. And
with Google and advertising, I think
old houses didn't leak like they do now. They don't break. So many of these people, and they say, "Well, I bought a house 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I just only got a 5-10 year lifespan on all these, the AC and the heat and the plumbing and the pipes and things will happen." They just sort of build that in. Did they just start building them cheaper and more disposable? I kind of think they did.
Well, I was talking more about the people.
That too. Yeah.
Like before.
Well, because they come and they go.
People had my dad, as their plumber for 20, 30 years
exactly.
or more.
My dad too had. That's why he had that relationship. It was
now
important.
With Google, everybody.
And they come and they go.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do businesses? Is this a business where there's lots? You were saying that there's actually like equity hedge fund. I don't know if they're hedge funds, but big investors that go buy up all these little shops and then run them as one big conglomerate here.
Yeah. There's actually a thing going on in Orange County right now. Over the past few years, where there's some private equity companies going around. I've heard this through Victor Rancor. I'm doing a name drop, but
shout out to Victor.
Yeah, he was he started Absolute Airflow, and they got bought out by a private equity company. But this is something that he actually brought up last year. On one of his something he was talking about that.
So a guy's been around a while and bought his company, and he's seeing this happen more and more.
Yeah, and I think what they do is they buy out several of these companies, and then they just keep the face of the companies. And so people think they have this choice of plumbers or HVAC guys, but really it's just
one.
Some bankers you're calling, who...
And they might be advertising as 4 different companies, and so you think I'm calling 3 different shops, you're calling one guy.
Yeah, and they all have the same price books, they all have the same, training, the same sales technicians.
That sounds evil.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart, but yeah, it's kind of...
It's misleading.
I think it's misleading. It's kind of, I mean...
I want a guy who really knows this, who's really done it, who likes it, who's made a career out of it like you have. Took you a while to accept it and get around it, but once you did, it sounds like you committed all the way. You put your name on the business. It's no more commitment than that. You didn't call it Huntington Beach Plumbing or something else. You called it Your Name Plumbing. That means I'm expecting to see you and deal with the name on the door here.
Yeah, my family name.
The name on the truck. All right, so... Still, what do you think? How do I hire a plumber? I don't know if we got an answer to that. How do I hire a plumber?
Well,
how if you would tell somebody, not me, but hire somebody else, if across town and some other part of the country.
I think if you have a good plumber, like I think if you have a good plumber, you need to really take care of them, and you need to keep them.
Okay.
It's like a good auto mechanic,
Yeah,
like
same
you
thing.
got somebody that's good, that takes care of you,
That you
you
trust.
like them,
Right.
you don't want to burn that bridge because you don't know who you're going to get next.
And you don't want to
And
just go to whoever the cheapest is or the next one
you
on the
don't want to
list.
go to the cheapest person, because I don't think the cheapest person knows better.
And I don't
You
think they're
know?
going to stick around.
Yeah, well, they're not going to be able to,
Yeah.
because this work is hard, and what one thing I've learned over the years is that when you do the work in a way that's cheaper, the work is actually a lot harder, because you're trying to work in a tight space to put this Band-Aid on something that really
Quickly.
needs to be changed,
Right.
and it just creates a lot of issues. It makes it hard to kind of.
Maybe cheaper and faster, but it ain't easier, and certainly ain't better.
Yeah, so that guy, he's not going to be around long.
No. And then, so what did you gain? You're still going to have a plumbing problem, and now you got to start the quest all over. Better to find somebody I think an auto mechanic's a perfect thing. We all want to have that shop, that place, that guy that takes care of our car. We used to have that. My dad he had a mechanic, he had a plumber, he had an electrician, he had an insurance guy. He had a list of service providers, and of course, he lived in his house for 40 years or something here. And people were in business for 30 or 40 years. They weren't coming and going and selling to other people and changing names and all this stuff here. So we had longer term relationships, and once you found a good one, you stuck with them.
Yeah, I think that relationships are important in life. I don't think people are these disposable things that we just kind of on to the next one or whatever.
Well, it sure seems that way these days. And if they're all disposable, then I guess you pick the cheapest one. If you guys are all the same, then I'm just going to pick the cheapest one.
Well, I think that on the customer side, they don't know the difference. So
No.
And that's the other thing too, is it's not that the cheap guy isn't confident. The cheap guy thinks he knows, and
Thinks he's found a faster, cheaper way to do it.
I mean, that's why he's there because he sees guys making money, but he doesn't understand like what's involved with that.
He may not have been around as long, though. He may not have as much experience. He may not be in it for the long run. He might be just a short hit kind of guy, hit and run kind of guy. I don't know, but I know those guys don't seem to last.
I think what you want is somebody that can provide you with options, because like somebody who can provide you with options, they know how to do the same thing different ways.
Right.
So, like, for instance...
And explain to you what you get or lose in those different options. I can do it this way, but...
Yeah.
Or I can do it this way, and...
Yeah, or if I try to do it this way, this might happen.
Right.
And then we're going to be here, but I'll try to do it like that, so...
Right.
But plumbing itself is, Southern California is not a soft real estate market. So, plumbing in itself, like... nice plumbing in your house it's an investment. It's a nice upgrade. If you have an older house that was built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and you put new plumbing in there, a lot of these houses are it's like you have a new house in a nice neighborhood again.
Do you ever go do remodels of bathrooms and kitchens and all that kind of stuff too? Is that beyond what you do, or do you get into that too? If I want to, everybody wants to rehab their kitchen. We've done that once or twice. Or everybody wants to fix up their bathrooms. God knows why. My parents lived in their house for 50 years. Never once did my mom say, we got to change the bathroom.
I was doing
or the fixtures in the bathroom.
I was doing more of that in like the housing boom, like 2003, 4, 5, 6. We had one customer that was flipping like, I don't know, 6 to 10 condos a month in Long Beach, and during that time, they were increasing in value quite a bit.
And then, so the simple stuff: put in some better plumbing, put in some better fixtures, paint it up a little bit, new carpet.
Yeah,
paint.
Move this, move that. Take this wall down. Oh, that gas line's in the way. Move that.
Right.
I actually we did one in Long Beach. It was an apartment building. I helped him find, and he bought it right away because it was a really good deal. And like a year later, it turned out the thing had like a gas leak under it. Good luck finding the gas leak, because a 1920s building with like 15 units.
And the plans probably don't even exist. So if you even want to know, where is the pipe?
Well, the thing about this building is there was probably 3 inches of room between like the floor rafters and the dirt. So we ended up going under there with army shovels and just tunneling around. And we ran new lines. Back then we still used hard pipe, you
Yeah.
know, and the one thing I think that really people don't think about today is that they all have battery tools. I mean, that was a huge part of our job, was like rolling out a cord, you know, and like rolling it back up, you know, or making sure it's not in water, you know. It's like there was like
The genius of battery-powered devices here.
that was a thing you really had to watch out.
That was the revolution. All right. Well, you've been doing it. What, your business been around, what, over 10 years, something like that, you said? Wow.
Yeah. I've been doing it a while.
So you grew up, been doing it forever, kind of fought it, kind of tried to get away, hit some rock bottom, said, what am I doing? I'm coming home. I'm going to be a plumber. I can make a good life, and I can do good for my community here. And you've been in Huntington Beach ever since. And do you do just mom and pop homes, or do you talked about some big projects and stuff, or do you do anything that walks in the door?
No, we don't. I don't want to scare people away, but I really try to focus on people who care about their houses. You know, homeowners, residential homeowners. You know, we have some property managers that we do work for, but you know, it's one thing that can happen in plumbing, I think, that a lot of people don't think about, is that you can really get run into the ground if you work for the wrong people.
Yeah,
and
right. There is a reason we want it to be cheaper, because you can get run up and you don't know what they're doing, and there's an add-on and this and that, and pretty soon, oh my God, I'm much deeper into this than I thought I was here.
Yeah, so we really look for people, because we know what we're bringing. You know, we know we're bringing, you know, quality service, you know, competent diagnostics. You know, we're going to be able to
the best products or whatever.
Figure out options for you. You know, what level of quality. I mean, we have a lot of, you know. This isn't just something we're doing for money. I mean, I figure, like, if
come on, every plumber's just doing it for money.
I mean, it's like, I figure
you get a certain passion and a certain pride.
Well, I just think if, you know, if I can think of applying like a level of quality to my life, like, and what I do, I just think the money is going to be there. It's like a matter of, it's
do
a
a good job
fact.
and the money will take care of it.
Yeah, I don't need to really worry about the money if I'm focused on the right things, because I'm bringing something that's really valuable to people. So, you know, and I'm not saying, you know, to go hire the most expensive guy or be careless with your money. I totally understand. You know, you got to be careful, but
you got to get somebody that cares. And I get loud and clear that you care. You care about the quality. Whether I know it's good or not, you know it's good.
I think it's important for my life, for people's lives, to care about what they're doing in life, you know, to just go through life, you know.
So many don't. I don't care.
Yeah, I think
that's my common complaint with contractors today across the board. They come in and I say, well, couldn't you have moved that over? Couldn't you do this a little better? You left this here and you scratched this there and you did that. And they go like, that's good enough. Good enough seems to be the byword. That's good enough. And I hate good enough. I grew up in a world of craftsmen. No, whether you know it or not, I know it. That's the best that we can do. That's right.
Well, we want to have stuff that lasts, especially with your plumbing, you know, because unexpected plumbing issues, you know, that's not a small issue. That's, you know, it's going to create a lot of problems with, you know, your house, your life, your insurance.
Tell me.
So
call my wife up and ask her the nightmare we went through when the pipes burst in the kitchen and all that stuff, and the 8 or 9 months we went through, and the several contractors we went through, when one didn't deliver, the other one didn't show up, or they started the job and then quit, and we couldn't get them to come back. And yeah, that
happens a lot too. You know, I mean, you hire somebody and then
they got a bigger, better job somewhere else, and they're gone. They'll come back later.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, it's hard to care. You know,
it's hard to care.
It's kind of natural for me to care about people and what I'm doing, but it's not always easy when someone, like, you have to go back and address a problem.
And they're mad and they're yelling at you.
Yeah, and maybe, you know, you're not really getting any more money out of it. You know, so this guy that just disappears or, you know, puts you off, like, you know, he's got some of you know, it's not easy to have good character.
No, but it is easier. You made
but it's valuable.
You made a commitment to my house. I'm sorry you got a job that pays twice as much down the road, and I know you want to go grab that because you didn't know it was coming, and you wouldn't have taken my mess at this little peanuts I'm paying you here. But by God, you made a promise to me here, and finish it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, to set aside something that maybe it's is incentivizing you to be there, to set that down, to go take care of this thing because it's the right thing to do.
The right thing to do.
I think that's where it really counts. And if you have somebody like that, you don't want to get rid of those.
Well, I know the right thing to do now. If I got a plumbing problem, I call Mike Paisley. How far do you go? All of Orange County, or just part of Orange County?
We service all of Huntington Beach.
Clearly.
We do some work in Long Beach, Seal Beach. We work in Seal Beach, Los Alamitos.
Surrounding area. But
yeah.
You go to the north part of the county, the south, you go to San Juan Capistrano, Laguna Beach, maybe if it's a big deal, but normally you're kind of just focused where you're at.
Yeah, maybe if it's something serious, but
a big apartment deal you get somewhere, sure, you're going to go do this or something, but
yeah, take care of somebody, and it also kind of depends on our workload, because if we're booked out for a week.
And what's the workload like? Is this a one truck, one guy thing, or are you multiple trucks and multiple people, or what's your company look like here?
I've done it both ways. Right now it's actually just me, but
you in a truck, guy.
I've had a couple guys roll in, and it's tough. It's tough to manage people. It's one thing I'm trying to really get better at. I mean, I'm just being transparent.
Yeah, and to get good people. Oh my God, that's what everybody's complaining about. Not just running them, whether you're good at it or not, and trusting them and training them and all the other stuff. It's about finding them and keeping them. This is a transient world. They come and they go.
Yeah, they come and they go.
Yeah.
And even
it's your name on the door, not theirs, and so they don't maybe care as much. I like dealing with the guy whose name is on the door. I miss those days, because I believe they're going to put more into it. They're going to deliver what they promise because their name is on the business.
I've trained guys, from the ground up. Guys that are really good at plumbing now. But it was like back in the 2000, 2005 time. And I think now I tried to do that again, but I after COVID it was really tough, because guys show up and they come for the money, and then they just see the work and they leave. And
then they get a bigger, better deal, and they're off in a thing or something.
Well, after COVID it was like they weren't even getting a bigger, better deal. It was like they didn't want to work.
Yeah.
So that was like, and that's one thing about plumbing is you're not picking people that, you're picking some people that can kind of, move some weight and,
and aren't afraid to get their hands dirty.
Well, the dirty, when I don't want to say, like, it's when you say that, it sounds like it makes people think of, germ dirty, but like that's one thing a good plumber is able to do is kind of take care of a situation and keep himself clean. And keep your house clean. That's really important.
Well, I like to hear that. Because I've had the other.
Yeah, no, I really, my dad actually was a person that people would be amazed. He'd get down in a trench at like 11:30 at night fixing something when he was younger, and he'd come out spotless, and people would just be like, "How'd you do that?
How did you do that?"
And
well, I know how to do it. If I'm anywhere in the Huntington Beach area, I'm going to call Mike Paisley Plumbing. What's the number? What's the website? How do they reach you?
714-999-9991.
And is there a website or anything else, or any other social media ways?
You can go to getmyplumber.com, and that'll forward to our website.
Okay. And one more time, the phone number is?
714-999-9991.
Well, I appreciate your honesty. You said a couple times, hey, I think this is what I think. I've struggled with this. I've had success with this. I feel like I got to know you in the last 30, 40 minutes, and I appreciate your belief in doing it right. It's your name on the door. You've been doing it your whole life. This isn't just something you're going in and out of here. And all of those are the kind of qualities, care and craftsmanship that I look for in a relationship, and doesn't sound like you're going anywhere. You've been there for a while, so why not try him if you're looking for a plumber? Makes sense to me. All right, thank you so much for coming in today here and talking about a situation none of us think about until it's too late. Oh my God, my plumbing is gone. I got a problem here. Thanks for joining us today here on OC Spotlight. Well, there you have it, folks. The real story, what it's really like to find a plumber, to be a plumber, and to work as a plumber these days in in a world that they come and they go. May not care as much, but sounds like we found one that does. Check them out right here in OC Spotlight, Orange County's only community radio station.